First, Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Dum Durgaya Namaha. Om Shri Skandaya Namaha. To understand the water, you have to understand water is a living being, like sun. Water is not formed on earth. And please listen to this carefully, because this basic macro principle applies everywhere into your life, in your micro as well. Because water contains the energy of sun and makes it a applicable and practical action to form. That is the function of water. That's why water is a wisdom. So imagine that there was no earth, and one spark of the sun, one big piece of the sun, let's call it sperm, then you will understand the connection. And this water, imagine a kind of a womb kind of water, iced water, because it won't be liquid. And they interact and it enters into the water. So sun is carrying the raw material and the thought of it. And out of that, earth is formed, because earth, everything we are, is made from sun energy. But only sun is not enough. For that, energy has to store into the water and become an action, become a formation. This energy enters and it forms, and this formation, this interaction of sun and water energy is what our everyday action and its movement is about. We are 70% water, and experiences which happen around us, they are like sun, the new light which enters us. Ocean and the water which exists on the earth, it never goes up or less, it circulates. And this water carries all the info of all the living beings which lived on this planet Earth. That recording is there because water is carrier of the information, of the electricity, of the any experiences which are recorded into the water. They are there. I saw once a documentary in which they were saying that these tsunamis and typhoons are response of water intelligence to the sufferings of humans. Water has an emotional reaction in the oceans. Of course, we can't even think about that because we think it's a like neutral technical element and they are interacting just out of blue, some accident. But in reality, where Sanatan's wisdom is that they do not see sun as sun and earth as just earth planet. They are two beings interacting and we are their conversation. We are their dialogue. We are their union. And we have forgotten that union. And we start to think we're independent and hence the chaos. We don't see that you need both sky and earth to meet into you. Only then you will flower into your heart, into your action. But what we do, we say, no, I am more materialist type or I am more spiritual type. And these people die early. They don't end up giving anything productive to life. They end up only creating contradiction for themselves and for the others. So water is the messenger of sun's energy. Wisdom is when you experience something, the new form of cosmos, and it leaves an imprint into your system, into your water. And it becomes an action. So water is also the source of juice in us, because what we call juice is when we feel this electric current of life flowing through us. Different situations trigger that juice. And different situations activates that juice into you, be it a thought or an experience, be it a philosophy. Any word which is alive with a live experience, it will trigger your juice. So this is a criterion. Remember, when you're listening to different people, when they're just speaking empty words, they are taking your juice to activate their words. You will feel exhausted with them. Hmm? So most of the people, they are asking me questions. I noticed that they are just empty words, and they want to get activated by my attention to their issues. They are not looking for solutions really. They are just looking the affirmations for their words. So I will explain in detail how this water energy is the source of our action, and it triggered by the live thought or an experience. And that interaction, that's the point of being in the moment means. अरे यार आवाज मत कर यार, क्या कर रहा तू? क्लास कर रहा हूं मैं इधर. Please, I'm in complete acceptance of all the disturbances, so you also have to, because this is how it happens in Kal Yuga. With the mess, you struggle and dance your way through. Somebody said to me that your two personalities, in singing you are one, and in talking you are like a serious teacher. What is this? It's not duality. This is diversity. The faster you change your channels, more weird you will become for people, but more fun will be your life. So this storing of wisdom into your system, this electricity into the water, is what our sensuality, our sexuality, our vitality, and the creativity is. The dormant energy in water takes inspiration from the sun and becomes an action. When you breathe in, you take the new particles of sun into your system. In us, it becomes complaints and bitching, but it should become an action, a formation in the life outside. But that doesn't happen because we are out of touch with that rhythm, that new energy is bringing a new message, but we stick on to the old message and want to impose, and that creates friction and chaos within us, and we wonder what is going wrong. Life wants you to keep on dying with each out breath and keep on taking new birth with each in breath. Then you are in rhythm with the cosmos, with the life. So here you will start to see the point that why people are missing so many things in their life is because their connection with this sun and water dialogue, which we also call sex, is not good. Their water is in a state of no interaction with the sun. So hence people experience no wisdom, but gathering of words. Water is the source of our wisdom. It carries the wisdom around. So one of the important practice which you can do is to, whenever you drink water, first look at it, bless it, or chant a mantra into it, make it personal. Then you drink it. It takes 7 years to convert your whole water into the system. You have to keep on, but each time you drink, you see your reflection into it, keep looking at it, because it is recording you. Then you take it in. And there are ways of chanting a mantra also. You can chant anything which you like, because you are converting the frequencies of the water. Because through water, many informations are entering us, which are not part of our system. They create contradictions. Like there are many experiments and people have done with water, how the molecule of water changes. When you play music, it becomes more mandala. When you abuse it, then it becomes very distorted mandala. So water molecules take form because water is a very, very flexible energy. It reflects what is coming in. Water on its own is nothing. It's just calm thing, and you see. Sun on its own is just brilliance which will dry you up. There are two kind of people also like that, who are full of thoughts, full of ideas, but there is no action. So they are burning you out with their thoughts and energies. And there are people who are very much like water, very much like indulgence into the body, but nothing grows out of them because they are not open to any new inspirations. So they are consuming their own body with indulgence. And there are people who are consuming their own life through their thoughts. So these are the two kind of cultures in India it happened in. One was Krishna's culture, which was Madhav's. They were water oriented. Krishna's path was of water. And other was Raghav's, Ram. They were the sun cultures. People whose inclination is with the sun, behavior is like sun. And people whose inclination is like water, behavior like water. Water has a danger of getting too indulgent. And fire has a danger of getting too much into the idea making and burning themselves out through their brilliance. This happens to many thinkers. And on the other hand, the artists, which are more water types, they end up ending their life through indulgence. But if you look at the same sun and water, when that sun reflects into the water through the rivers, that's where the magic happens. That's where the both water and sun become a poetic form. This poetic form within us is the union of these two energies. So staying in the moment is you are keeping your bowl of mind available to the water of the present experience of the moment. And when you start to reflect it, your action won't come out of ego, but they will come because of the sun's movement through you. That's why Hanuman is called the Ramadut, means messenger of Ram. Means you become the messenger of life. You start to express what life is expressing through you. And it is just not sunlight. Can you see the brilliance of sunlight, that we are the forms out of sunlight, all of us, thinking, having smartphones and all. We think we made it. No, it's in the sun's mind, in its light, that is making it all happen. This is kingdom of sun, what we are. Your thoughts are thoughts of the sun. Have you noticed how people suddenly become, when the sun sets? Nobody notices usually, but after sunset, most of the chattering disappears in the mind. Your mind starts to become quiet. So you will see in the morning also, when the sun comes up, you feel a certain birds start to chirp. We think, oh, birds are primitive, they don't know, they just start chirp. You also start to chirp. Maybe not outside you're singing a song, but you will chirp in the mind. So this water element, which I talked before also, has three psychologies, which is one is ice, and other is flow, the water, and third is becoming a cloud, flying in the sky and raining and creating prosperity. When we are stuck with stagnant thoughts, our energy also becomes stagnant and we become like ice. We do not want to come out of it because that is a comfortable zone, a fixed form of suffering, of thought, of security. Even suffering gives us security. We want to stay there. And then by the presence of sun, by presence of wisdom, the presence of light, this starts to melt and it starts to flow and adjust to different forms and different places. And it brings fertility. Only water does not bring fertility. The energy of the sun recorded into the water, it enters the plant and becomes the flower. So it is just not heat of the sun. There is a wisdom being stored by the water from the sun. If you increase the wisdom and intensity of your living, your water, which was attracted downwards and going into the desires and indulgences, it starts to rise up. This rising up is like Kundalini waking up. In comparison to water, it is your water rising up and becoming a cloud. There, before you were lost into some little tunnel of water, here you have an overview of your whole life as a cloud. You roam over your life and see the scenarios. And it's just not an overview. Most of the people in humanity, they want to stay up there. But the cycle of life is you have to rein back, bring the new energies and new messages to fall, to shower over this life and bring new energies. The meditation which I shared of shaking the body and dancing and sitting still, on the physical level, it works to open your blockages, but on the you are also experiencing your water energy, your water wisdom on 3 levels. In shaking, you're breaking your blockages, you're creating a heat, generating a heat which starts to build up and release your energies. And in dancing, you become like water and starts to express and flow. And in sitting still, you become a cloud. And that wisdom rains into your actions. So this is the circulation if you create of not just moving from only the earth center or rigid center and go out there, but also circulate yourself. As a cloud, you shower into your actions, but for that, the fluidity. So most of people are stuck into the ice state of ego, where you set with your structures and thoughts. You don't want to move out of them. So this circulation, this heat, that's why yoga, we call meditation as a tapa, means creating a heat, generating a heat and activity, so you start to melt. In that melting, your current identity as the ego will start to disappear. If you don't freak out, you realize that you're becoming diverse in intelligence. You can fit and adjust to any situation, become the situation, yet not lose your individuality as in water. So you become the situation, and once situation is gone, you are into the form of the next situation. Maintaining this wisdom that you are not a form, but you are water. You are not a rising tide or going down tide. You are just water. That creates a fearlessness. Otherwise, we are like puddles on the side of the ocean or the river, afraid to enter the river because we feel there are so many ups and downs. I might get drowned. So this drowning is just psychological fear because you think you are just a puddle. Kabir says in one of his dohas that ocean has disappeared into the drop of water. So we are basically in the ocean of energy. The second center, navel center, Swadhisthana, is the mother's database of cosmos within you. But most of us live up in the mind or in the emotions. Because of our repression with emotions and sexuality, our breath never touches the water center, the navel center. When you were in the womb of your mother, first navel center was created, then heart was created, then brain came. Your navel center is the cosmic wisdom making you move through there. It is nourishing your heart, nourishing your brain. Not just the food, not just the emotion, but that connection with the earth and earth's connection with the sun and sun's connection with the cosmos. But navel center is the, for example, in martial arts, once you are completely established, your mind is completely established 2 inches below into your navel center, you become perfect warrior because now you're functioning from the total intelligence, not the mental information, not the emotional information, but the mother information. Your intuition develops. Even when the warrior is getting attacked, before the person even starts to attack, he thinks of attacking. If you are into your navel center, intuition system, you will know already that attack is coming. Animals live by it, and sometimes we have glimpses of it. This intuition center, to develop that center is you have to learn to balance your left and right physically. Then you start to have the intuition of your middle point. This center is the intuition, And this center of the body is also connecting you to the intuition center, 2 inches below your navel. It is the root of the spine. And this is, in Japanese, they also call it hara. They used to do harakiri because that's the best way to commit suicide. Please do not do it. That you put a knife 2 inches below your navel into your hara. There's an immediate death because this is a death center also. Because if you put knife anywhere else, it will take for time, for 10-15 minutes to reach up there until you completely deplete and you will suffer. But in this harakiri, they put knife into the 2 inches below the navel, you cut upon that and you immediately collapse because you're completely disconnected. But at the same time, this center is also center of sexuality and creativity. In women, this center is most powerful because it is also the center of womb. And most of the people do not focus on this center is because your belly starts to increase because you start to gather energy into this center, into Swadhisthana. You will see in the old tradition of samurai and other cultures, the warriors, they're shown with the belly. It's not because of overeating. It is because when you start to gather energy, your belly is relaxed and it starts to contain more and more energy. You get a very strong base into your body. And person who is very much established into their water energy and contained energy, they radiate a power, a calm power. That's why in warrior culture, they guess the man by their aura and whether you can fight that person or not. Because if their aura is bigger than you, you will get defeated. Because it's not expertise of sword or anything. It's expertise of how integrated your action is. And it is like Bruce Lee says that I don't hit it, it hits by itself. So even warrior doesn't know when the attack is coming because it's coming from the cosmic center. Why we avoid that? Because it's unpredictability. We want predictability in life. We want things to be how we expected. We want things to be repeated. But this center is always new. It comes out with a out of the box thing. And if you are really a meditator, you will realize that that is the fun of life. But normally people are exhausting their energies by repeating, by expecting those repetitions into their life. So living through the center is, you should be willing psychologically, go through the suffering of insecurity consciously. You welcome it. In that insecurity, you're sharpened by life. So now, more practical point is that why this water center is the center for addiction also. As I told you that when energy flows through us, that's where we feel the juice of life, when we feel alive. Because we are into a stagnant state of mind, our thoughts, our way of life is not giving us juice, is not making us feel alive. So then you need additives. Addiction can be anything. Watching too much TV or having some drug or a smoke. What it does to you is that it makes your juices flow. For example, watching a good movie makes your juices flow. That's why you enjoy the movie. But you are not seeing that you're depleting yourself. You're exhausting yourself by living that somebody else's emotion through a movie. Same is with drugs. And once you take any drug, because your own water is stagnant, because no new experiences are entering into it, and you want that movement. So you drink alcohol or smoke charas or ganja or some LSD. What happens? It activates your dormant energy, stagnant energy into action. And you're living that wow. And it's not just great thoughts. You're feeling a sensation, electric sensation into your whole water system, and you feel first time alive. But then it disappears, then you go deeper into the stagnation. Then you need more of it. Same way we are addicted in relations. People want to hang out with certain people because on their own, they have no stimulation happening of their energy. So they need the other person to constantly stimulate them. It goes so bad that we pick up fights with each other in relations to feel stimulated energetically. So this you have to understand very deeply. Then many a times we don't have problems with life. We have problems with our boredom with life. To make it interesting, we catch the beloved ones around us and start a duo. And same happens with me when people ask me questions. Most of the questions are their mind is exhausted by the empty words of philosophies and gurus and this and that. They're repeating them and they say, oh, I am frustrated, nothing is happening. Why it is not happening? Because your mind is exhausting your water energy. Now it's empty. Now you're not feeling the flow. Many people told me that in the beginning meditation was working, but now it's not working because you made it a psychological part, talking about it and all that. Now you exhausted your wisdom. Now you do not feel that stimulation because your water and your sun are not meeting. They are not having a dialogue to create a new action, to create a new circumstance, to create a new formation in life. Either you're indulging or you are mind fucking. So in these two, they have to come together. You cannot drop an addiction. Now, this is important to understand. Till you do not have a better juice flow, which is organic. For example, people smoke a cigarette. It gives a certain kick. But you cannot just drop a cigarette and have nothing. You have to create a positive and organic, some kind of pattern. When you feel a longing to have that addiction, you know there is another better option for you to flow. Because we're looking for a flow. You cannot just drop a habit which is giving you a flow, maybe temporary, and go into a blank. Because that blank is the biggest suffering. Because you want to feel alive. That's why we want to go into addictions. It's not wrong, but it is bad for the health, bad for your mind. There is no right and wrong. Each thing has a consequence. So this understanding about why you get into patterns is that you have realized one is the security. You feel in a pattern, you are secure. At the same time, you want to feel alive. But alive comes with a price of insecurity. And to avoid that insecurity, it's better to buy your juice from a shop or from a dealer and have it. It's under your control. But then you are disconnected with life. And it starts to show into your actions. It starts to show into your relations. That stagnation. And from this point, before I make this point, I have to just stop video and audio for a bit because nature calls.
Sorry for the interruption, everyone. I think it seems speaking about the water element has triggered certain processes. We'll be back shortly.
I'm not telling you guys any philosophy or any new way. I am just because all the philosophies and people's questions show that people are moving around with recipes. And recipes won't fulfill your hunger. People are hungry, but they have Ramana Maharishi, Sadgurus, and all that Osho's philosophy and all that, but it's not working. What I am sharing with you is you have a pot, you have vegetable, you have spices. But I am sharing you how to put on the fire so you can eat finally. So that's why I avoid any philosophical questions. From my conversation, you will see there are more applicable practical wisdom so that you can get activated. Then most of your questions will disappear once you see, till I have not been given the dry fruits by some of you guys posted me. Till then I was fantasizing about different foods. Once I'm eating every day, I don't fantasize any foods because I'm content. by enjoying the food I am eating. So same happens. You become relaxed once you fall in tune with life. Then you don't fantasize about futures, but in that tune, you want to sing your song. And that song is not some special song or spiritual song or this and that. Your each action is your radiance of your sun and water energy. Because the union of sun with water is creating clouds and rains and prosperity. And we have disconnected from this cycle. Why you are addicted to a person, to a thought, to an activity? Because you must be getting something out of it. And what you are getting out of is the flow of your juice, flow of your energy, which your situations are not giving you. So to alter that, you have to create situations where you start to flow in life. Then your dependence on the addictions disappear. And mostly in relations, it happens that as soon as one person is dropping the addiction of the other starts to freak out. I noticed this when I was in relations. I got into painting and doing different things. Then girlfriend is saying, "Oh, attention, give me the attention." Because what is happening? Because you are withdrawing your energy and focusing on something you are creating on your own. And other person immediately calls you up. For 2 weeks, she's avoiding me. As soon as I get into painting, she gives me a call. Because you're plugged into people. You're thinking of them and you're feeding them. And once you stop thinking, withdraw, and they start to call you and interrupt your creative projects. You will come across people. There are two kind of energy hunters because it's related with water or vitality. People who have exhausted their energy by living too much indulgences, they become black holes into the navel center, which I'm talking about. It is no more a creative center into you, it becomes a black hole. They start to suck other people's energies, auras, by being around them. Such people, you will find them in parties and crowded places because they are there. It's their, what you say, celebration of food going on. They get a lot from that. This is one type. This is the water type of vampires. Fire type of vampires are the people who wants your eyes, your energy for their thoughts, because they are themselves have exhausted and burnt themselves out by overthinking. But when they get attention of somebody, they are not generating a new world with that attention. They are just taking that energy to propagate their world. That's why with certain people you will feel exhausted after listening to them. You gave them your attention, but afterwards you don't feel something came to you as a new inspiration. You feel whatever inspiration was there, it is gone. So they have different ways how they steal. So for the intellectual types, mind types, never give them your eye. Do not look at them into the eye, because that's where they are stealing your attention. Because as I told you, where your attention goes, that's where your energy goes. And once you give attention, their way of getting you hooked is by fascinating you by great words. Once you are interested, now you are feeding their mind and they're impressing you with your own energy back to you. And this is the way of most of the leaders and all that. People don't realize all the Hollywood stars, Bollywood stars, they are charged by the energy of people who are projecting on them. And that charisma, they say, it's energy of people only, not that person. And that's the circulation of that. And on the water type people, for them, the lure for you is some kind of attraction, some kind of energetic attraction. Many men and women do. They like to hook other people's energy sexually, then they start to play a game because other is now flowing towards you. You got your charge. Now you say, okay, I'll see. As soon as that charge goes away, you again want to hook them back. I got this training living in Goa for 8, 9 years and 5 years in Rishikesh. I met every kind of energy hunters. I was wondering why. I realized that I was learning something which is very important. Martial information for today's seeker is not only become good in meditation, but also able to recognize these energy hunters around you. I'm not saying you are not that. There is a third phase where we take somebody's energy, interact creatively, and form a third world. Then you are not a asura or rakshas. Asura is the mind hunter, rakshas is the energy hunter, body energy hunter. Deva, which we call the great spirits, you are Deva also, you are Asura also, you are Rakshas also. Sometimes you exhaust people off when you are tired, you want their energy. Sometimes you exhaust their mind when you need inspiration. But sometimes when there is a dialogue, you are in a state of Deva, because in that negative positive union of two people, you create a new light, new wisdom, new projects. Then you are participating with the creativity of life. So first, when you will start to notice this about your water attitudes, how you're taking, how you are stealing, how you are giving, how you are getting robbed, then there is a balance. Because any extreme, even in a dialogue, you cross a certain limit of talking, you are getting exhausted. Same is with action, same is with anything. And especially this is the criterion when you come across a teacher or a guru or any teacher also who you put up there and feel that this person has something. Notice whether your mind is getting fascinated or on the other level you're getting some energy charge. These are the two extremes. Third is, which is positive aspect, is that you are triggered into a new action by their conversation, by their presence. That is the positive impact. Otherwise, in other two forms, when you're fascinated or when you're getting some energy, you are getting into a slavery. For example, I noticed with Osho, with Sadhguru, most of the crowd is fascinated by their big pomp and show, where Guru is not like that. He knows the whole game, but people get attracted by big crowd and big meditations, big processes, and mostly people are attracted to that. You think gurus don't know this is happening? This is happening, but it's part of the game. That is all these people who gather around, which are the weirdos and all kind of people. They work like soil. They create an energy field, lots of intense energy zone, where other meditators, they will go through their hells, and in that friction they will sprout. Not all will sprout, some will disappear, because this is the how life functions. So it's important to understand that what attracts you in the certain teaching, whether it's pumping your ego or it's inspiring you to expand in life. So thought is a food if it is connected with energy. It connects you with energy and it brings out an action. And it's empty words, it will create more indigestion into you, this which people are suffering from. Reading too much of unnecessary information, there is indigestion, and then you're vomiting on each other, the words, the questions, and all those things. Yes, regarding addiction, there's one point very important to understand, that why we get addicted is that it's not something wrong with you. It is by nature, energy is creative force. It's not about yesterday or tomorrow, it needs engagement. If you don't give it an engagement, it finds other ways to leak out, other ways to indulge. So taking responsibility of your life means being responsible for your energy and giving it creative engagements, which will make you prosper into your actions. Lack of energy in your actions brings failure. And most of the people are suffering failures in life because their actions lack charisma, the juice, the flow. because it is exhausted either in relations or in some kind of addiction or in some kind of TV watching or something. And as soon as you stop that, your actions become potent. Potency is not in the action. Potency is your focus and energy engagement. People don't come to you for you. They come to you for your energy. They get attracted by your energy. Of course, each relation is exchange of energy. Sometimes people work hard to get beautiful, but they don't realize they are not carrying any charisma of energy. They're not generating new power every day. And that attracts more connections. So it's very important to understand. If it is just a physical action, it has no charisma. If just a mental action, it has no charisma. But when it's a union of your physical energy and idea, generated creative idea, and you put it together, that forms into your life. One of the reasons we are unable to get out of addictions is that we try to stop addiction through words, and words have no power, no juice. So you need to create another juice to get out of any kind of addiction, and balancing that, because you need to flow.
Satya Ji, do you want to open up for some questions from the audience? And do a
Yeah,
bit.
just the last few points I put forward for the how to now energize your the meditation I have told you guys. Other is make it a practice every day to breathe slow and deep into your navel, from your navel, and many things will come out. Many try it and you will know. Because in breathing slow and deep into your belly, your breath should touch not only your navel, it should touch your thumb of the foot. Then you are becoming a complete energy circulation. Most of the people's breath stay up there till the chest level. It never goes deep because we are repressed energetically, emotionally. Because when you will start to deep breathe deep, you will feel sexual energy rising. And that is not sexual energy, that is the creative force in you. And you will feel new aliveness into you, new vibration into you. And most people want to spend this vibration off, and they do not want to give it a direction, which I am showing you the pattern: shaking, dancing, and sitting still. Even once your channel is open, when you feel this energy comes up, if you of sexual energy, if you sit still and just be with this energy, it starts to move like a cloud up. So this is the brahmacharya happens. Then you will not seek ways to indulge that energy to give it an expression. It starts to move. So this is not a fight against sex. It is understanding your sexuality, relaxing with it, feeling it as a beautiful sacred force. By your presence, there is an inner union happening. You are participating with it. It starts to then move to the higher channels. And one of the practices, somebody asked Osho that where all the enlightened people are centered in. He said all enlightened people, without any exception, always centered into the navel center. They don't live in the mental center or emotional center, they live in the cosmic center. And this is one of the practices of Taoism also. Waterway, staying connected with your hara, with your lower tantian, 2 inches below your navel, inside you. There is an energy vibration. When you will breathe deep, you will notice there is stimulation of energy there. That is the blueprint of cosmos into you. The more you focus there, more it starts to express into your body and actions. And you will become more slow in life, but more powerful. We are wasting energy by hasting out our actions. And more you focus there, you will develop an intuition. And then final point in this is then you surrender to this center, because this is the center, mother center, which generates thoughts and emotions. Then you consult this center always. When you want to do something, you feel how your navel is feeling, how your belly is feeling. If it is feeling fine, you go for that action. If your mind is feeling, no, I am getting so much money, but your navel is not feeling fine, drop that, follow. Then this center will start to trust you. Otherwise, we make promises, then, but when something happens in the mind, we just rush away to do something else. Yes, please, some questions. Yeah.
So just before the questions, I would just say the exercise that Satya Ji was referring to about shaking the body, there's a description of that on the website, which you can see in the Telegram chats on the description. You click the link, you can follow, you can find it there. It's described in detail. So okay, Umesh has raised his hand. I'll unmute you, Umesh, now.
Yes.
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Apart from a lot of meditation techniques that you've talked about, you also talk about Ram, Krishna, Kali, Durga, and a lot of gods. And in our culture, immediately there are a lot of ritualistic practices attached to the gods. Can you shed some light on that? And if there are a few things you can tell us to follow every day from uh, that will help us from going insane, that'll be helpful because nobody else has ever told us the right things to do, the ritualistic things to do when it comes to different gods and goddesses.
You see, life does not want us to connect with it through some other agent. And most of the rituals have become agents or roundabout ways through priests and through some guru who's telling you this is the right way to chant. For example, when Guru Nanak used to chant and he stopped counting, that he said, I am not making a deal with the cosmos, this many numbers, and then I will get this and this. So these energies, these consciousnesses, Durga, Ganesha, Shiva, Ram, Krishna, let me say it like this, they are all names for this moment. They all are appearing here, but they are not how we think they are. Yes, certain mantras, certain rituals can help, but the approach to that is this, which is happening right now, is Durga. But you are seeing Satya Ji speaking, and you are living in a certain city, and this is your mind aspect of it. This is also part of Durga. It's all energy phenomena. If you start to address the total energy of this Durga in your present moment, there is no better idol worship than the live idol of the life. Your intellect is the form of Ganesha, not some Ganesha with the elephant body. That is just symbols. And this is what my work is, make people see the original point of Sanatan. We got lost into these traditional explanations and sticking with certain traditions because that enhances the business of people who are earning out of it. No practice wants you to connect directly. Whereas what I feel and what every human being has right to connect directly with any force they want. But that shouldn't be a deal. That's why you need a guru or a practice or a right or proper technique, because you're making a deal. I want so and so power. I want this to be fixed. Then life will make a deal with you. It will tell you, okay, then you do it in the right way. You make one mistake, everything will collapse. But when you are just connecting, because I want to be with you, I want to feel you, I want to see you and experience you as me, with no conditions that I want this or that, then it is also available. People ask what chakras. I tell you chakras in a simple way. Your body is the first chakra. Your sensuality is your second chakra. Your thinking is your third chakra. Your dialogue with other human beings and people is your fourth chakra. You yourself with yourself is the fifth chakra. But this color, that chakra opening, once your relations become flowing, your fourth chakra is open. Once your thinking is clear and flowering, your third chakra is open. Once your sensuality is flowing and flowering, your second chakra is open. When your body is comfortable, relaxed into action and rest, your Muladhara is open. But when you do these specific processes, you are going against nature. For that, you need specific methods and techniques. This is making sense. So these techniques are safe, but what I am suggesting is daring. daring to connect life, that why I need anybody else, why my breath is not sacred for me, why my body, because you do not know anything else other than this body. Rest is all matrixed into your head, and we have put all our shraddha, trust, and investment of beliefs into the concepts. But the day you put your shraddha, your investment of energy into this present form, when you chant Durga to this body, when you chant Ganesha to this body, when you say Ram to this body, then you're activating the live cosmos. That's what the whole Sanatan is about. Vedas are set 4-5 years back, 4-5,000 years back. We still keep on repeating. They have a hardware knowledge. It will bloom with each culture with a new form. And we are denying those new forms. And remember this, any culture kills a new form of cosmos, kills an enlightened person. That culture, that's the dead end of that culture. It starts to get destroyed. Socrates was killed after that Greek civilization went down. Jesus was killed. I don't want to say more because I'm on a so similarly within you, if you destroy any of your highest possibility, life has no purpose to support you. Many people end up in accidents and disasters in life because when it came to standing for their best, they kind of compromise that. Now, what is the purpose for you to continue? Yeah. Make sense? So I am suggesting make direct
Yes.
connection. Understand their
Thank you.
underlying meanings, then you will see it all applies here into your action.
Okay, amazing. Thanks, Umesh, for your question. Now, Sandeep has had a question for a while. Sandeep's question is, Satya Ji, do you believe in God? And which God do you believe in?
I mean, like Osho said, do you believe in sun? When you see something, you don't need to believe it. And I'm not saying I'm having some special experience of God. For this life is the divinity. I don't have to believe that I exist. I know I exist. I would ask Sandeep this, that do you want to experience the God? Then you talk. Don't ask me this secure, safe question. Do you believe in God and which God you believe? These are stupidities, by the way. I tell you, which God you believe. Oh, it's like, say, which river you believe. You're asking me, do you believe in water? Yes. So which river do you believe into? So that is the brilliance of this question. Anybody else want to ask question?
Yes, so we have Shruti has messaged me a while back with the question.
Yes.
Because she remembers once Sadhguru mentioning that belly breathing can bring sometimes a sense of lethargy. And so if you have any comment on this or to clarify any reasons of why he would have said this. Personally, I think I remember in the context in which Sadhguru was saying this is meditating, focusing on your belly versus focusing on the tip of your nose. Whereas if you're feeling a bit sleepy or dull, it's better to focus on the tip of the nose. But if your mind is a bit overactive, you're overthinking, it's better to focus on your belly, kind of shift it. But would you have any further comments on this?
No, I think you said it perfectly because I was wondering why Sadhguru would say, now you brought the whole context in. Now that's the point, because here you will more active in the mind, you are more close to your prana. But in the belly, you are aware of your whole body. So of course, you are aware of your whole matter. So it can bring a little slowing down. I won't say lethargy, because for example, Taoism is about doing everything slow. They live very long. For example, yogi are igniting the fire. They don't live very long because you're consuming it very fast with certain processes. So anyway, next question we can take.
Yeah, I think Pratyush, you've raised your hand. Go ahead.
Namaste. Can you is my voice audible?
Yeah.
You mentioned that there are many people who are energy suckers by they suck energy through mental, through physical, and you also mentioned that many celebrities gain this energy from their charisma from their audience. So why like Osho and Sadhguru ji, you know, conduct so much large in number of people meditations. And I also wanted to know that I myself, I have observed that I am also an energy sucker mentally. I have read many books, and I have observed that I am also get tired. So I just wanted to know, can you elaborate further on this topic? And is like these masters, Osho and Sadhguru, are legit gurus or not?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So these don't compare Hollywood actor or Bollywood actor with Osho or Sadhguru, okay? Because these guys are for a different reason into acting and into being celebrity. For them, this is their life. For Sadhguru or for Osho or for some Krishnamurti or Shri Shri, they are only people who are taking your intention and investing it back onto you. That's why they are bringing prosperity. Other people are just taking it and put it into their pockets. You are lucky if you find friends who take your energy and reinvest back into you with more energized ideas. So do not compare them. They are not, they are in a completely different game. They are the cosmic superstars. So they are taking many energy and other energies, not only yours, other energies, and sharing that energy with you. You think Sadhguru talking only talking, or Osho talking only talking? He's sharing energy also. How many speakers you will find who will give you that energized? Listen to a politician talking. Within 5 minutes, you're exhausted. Hmm? Make sense?
Yes. And I have one more question. Like, I have learned many meditations from Sadhguru, and I'm also initiated from him into Shambhavi. But like, I'm having difficulty in, practicing this every day. I'm, very undisciplined and
Yeah.
procrastinate.
Hmm.
And I also have my compulsions, like bad habits. I also have that, and I can clearly see that this gives me some temporary juice of life because of these habits. So how can one, find higher juice? And also,
First off, yes, I got the point. First off, start from where you stand. Don't have these great idols because you're impressed by Sadhguru that you want to have that spiritual revelation. You won't till you don't use where you stand, till you don't understand what is your reality. For your young age, you first have to really get comfortable with your sexuality and with your attraction towards the opposite sex and not to judge that. There you're cutting off your energy and hence you need other kind of habits or addictions to dwell into. And your spiritual practices shouldn't be a contradiction in your mind to your attractions and other things you need in the world. A bow which has two sides, one is up towards the sky and other side is down towards the earth. The tension between two creates an action into the life, expression into the heart. But if you choose one tension, you cannot shoot any arrows. So don't make this mistake. Many youngsters are making this mistake, and I don't think Sadhguru is available personally to point out to them. But point is, you need to find a balance between these two energies. Because if everybody becomes yogi and goes beyond, society collapses. And nature won't allow you that. Because you have to commit to the nature. As I said, a cloud going up is not against the water or the earth. It rains back. What Sadhguru is doing, he's raining back. What Osho did, he's raining back. But you have to work with your judgments you created psychologically against where you are and what you want to be. It's very important to understand that. It shouldn't be anyway condemnatory for your body, for your impulses or energy flows. For if you are angry also, don't say, oh, I shouldn't be angry, I should be better. No. See, deal with your anger, not in a way you are saying this problem I want. This is your fire. This fire will cook for you. But if you start to put it off, you will go into depression. No. So, make sense?
little bit it comes above my head, but okay,
Yeah, slowly.
I was able to
It creates
understand.
indigestion into you. If I say you more things, you will go overwhelmed. So, for today,
Thank
this much is good for you.
you.
So a couple of people have asked in the
Yeah.
chat on this topic of energy hunters. they asked how to avoid energy hunters. Well, I'll kind of reframe it, how to avoid, if avoiding is the right thing to do, but if it's not, how to deal with the energy hunters.
You see, the body vampire is kind of, they want your physical attention. So physical distance is very important. I experience them every day. I either walk away or I tell them to fuck off, stay away, keep a distance. And they freak out. Why you are like this? One woman 2-3 days back where I'm staying came and wanted to sit close to me. I said, no, sit there. And I created a distance of 6-7 feet away where she is not entering my zone, because I was just coming out of the last Sunday talk and she was down there and she just standing close to me. And I could feel the whole energy was getting drained out. I'm not judging her because she is kind of person, she was kind of person, always sitting in a room for 24/7 working with computers. So here her body has no energy. Now anybody with radiant energy comes, it just simply, this is the law of nature. It starts to fill the empty. That's why we bow down to gurus. Because when you bow down, you empty yourself so guru's energy can enter you. Same is a powerful technique for energizing yourself. There was tradition in Tibet. You have to bow down 3,000 times per day in direction of your master. And same you can do with a tree, with a mountain, with a garden. You will feel the energy enters into you. This bowing down, you're creating a space within yourself. And many gurus don't allow. Osho said a very interesting thing. When somebody really bows down in front of him, when he was meeting people personally, he would feel something from him starts to flow. When somebody is pretending to bow down, he will feel nothing is happening. So it is not just a physical gesture. You really surrender to life and say, yes, take care of me. And it takes care by your intention. It enters you through energy. And other mental ones is that how to avoid them is, don't get into an argument with such people. They will hook your ego first by denying you. There are actual practical techniques. If I want to suck you, you're an intelligent person, you will say something intelligent. I will say something stupid to you. You will get irritated. Why is this guy is not getting the point? And I am playing the game. So more you try to explain me, more you're charging me up with your power and you're wasting yourself. So I tell you the secret. Lose arguments, such arguments, images. You say, yes, you are right. You will feel so full of energy all your life. You say, yes, you are right. Or opposite to it, you can suck somebody like such an energy vampire. You can suck them with this method, or you can defeat them with this method. Start an argument with them. When argument at its peak, you suddenly say, yes, you are right. And they won't get their punchline, the fun, and suddenly it collapses. This is way to defeat. When the attack is in full, you don't fight to give it support. You say, yes, you are right. In that, their whole energy collapses. So don't get into an argument, and such people do not give your eyes. They will hook you through the eyes. And physical ones, do not maintain a physical distance. If you're aware the physically, you will notice such person come close to you. You will notice you are kind of little something happening to you. Your electricity circuit changes. And
Yes.
notice how they hook you, the energy vampires, how they hook you through your desire or longing. And that's for how you first create a hook. Because many men do to that woman, many women do to men, that when you are full of meditative energy, a girl will come and she is not interested into you really. She wants to feel just your attraction, to charge her up. Once you start to flow towards her, you think that now I am the great one, this woman wants me, but it's not like that. It is just in 5 seconds, you can exhaust all your energy which you have gathered into meditation just by a psychological attraction. So there you have to notice what is your hook. Or somebody asked on lighter note, what if our spouse is our energy hunter? You are fucked. You are definitely fucked. Because she will not listen to you that she is energy hunter. She will gaslight you, or he will gaslight you. No, 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 no. You are imagining. Who? Yes, or a parent. Yes. And this I have seen many in families, that many parents, sadly, they don't know. You see, I won't say that the evil people, they do not know their source of energy is their young vibrant son or daughter. They want to command them and tell them what to do, because they will never let them grow. Once ever they're blooming, what are you doing this and that, somehow they will create a problem or a complaint, and that guy loses the energy and gets drained. And this happens a lot whenever parents see that their sibling or their son or a daughter is kind of expanding more than them. They don't even realize, unconsciously they're jealous of that. They want you to follow their rules and real systems, and that's where you stay there, but there you are expanding and flying. So they use emotional blackmail. Most of the people, I realized, they got into this trap is because emotionally they are blackmailed by their lovers, by their brothers, by their parents. Oh, you don't care about me. And then you go into this guilt and you postpone yourself. You put yourself on pause and start to serve them. So this pausing, remember, there is no pause in the energy. Osho said either you are expanding in your energy or you are contracting. There's no static point in the cosmos. If you are not doing what you're supposed to do, just know well your very energy is now working against you. You will see very creative negative ideas to cancel all your creative thoughts. So this is how it plays joke on you. Lose an argument, but it is not easy. Losing an argument is very painful for the ego, but very healthy for your energy. Somebody is saying a stupid point and you want to prove to them, no, you are right. You say, yes, you are right. I did not know. Oh my God, you are amazing, man. Thank you. And you will see that guy is frustrated because you did not give him the juice.
So
Okay.
Chris has his hand up for a while.
Yes, Chris.
So those were my questions that I was typing that you mostly just addressed. So thank you for that.
Right.
The other question that I have is on the other side of the other practices in the discipline question. Like I do Sadhguru's practices as well, but to make sure that I get them in, like I have like sort of like rigid discipline that I did when I was training as a martial artist when I was a child. So like how do I hit that? I guess the question is, I'm trying to hit that balance point from the other side. So what does that look like?
Could you kind of elaborate on what's your exact inquiries, because it's not clear to me.
So is it a problem that I am approaching yogic practices from a place of more strict discipline, rather than the sort of like free-flowing direct connection to life, a thing that I think that you're trying to communicate? How do I resolve these two perspectives in a useful and productive way?
Yes, a reason why I feel why Sadhguru is offering a strict discipline, because we have overused our freedom as a culture. So that's why Sadhguru has to come in and give it. Because, for example, look at the cycle of the cosmos. Before that, there was Osho, who gave absolute freedom, and that created a chaos in many people's life as well. Still creating a chaos because that certain freedom ideas. It's not Osho's fault how people, and same is with Sadhguru now. Sadhguru is doing the opposite. He's giving a strict discipline only with Diksha and do certain practice. You have to do inner engineering to train your energy. But he's never saying that stick to it for the rest of your life. Because once your energy is trained, once you see the direction of your energy, then you participate with those directions. For example, Osho suggested if you're doing yoga, dance every day as well. So you keep maintaining the balance of disciplined wisdom and creative freedom wisdom. Then you will be a balanced personality. I have seen many women who are doing yoga asana since 10 years. They have become very male. They start to lose their menstruation. They start to grow mustaches. They become non-sensual. Like guys who are dancers, they become very feminine, So each action is forming your personality. So if you do too much of yoga with wrong intent and, it's a fire method. Dance is more like a water method. So if you do too much of yoga, it will create a certain bored. If you meet a very old yogi who is doing yoga a long time and pranayam, you will find them a bit boring because the energy is very disciplined. They even lose their sense of humor. So best test to test somebody they are wise or not is their sense of humor,
Okay.
because that wisdom has a flexibility to jump out of a situation and laugh at it also. Otherwise, they say no, 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 no. Like some people don't get the jokes. You tell them a joke and it's like instead of punchline, you get punched back with the response, huh? So you try to explain the joke to them and they didn't get the point. So it's something like this, that what I say, the mantra Ram, Ra is the fire, upward movement, Ma is the downward movement. And the present moment is balance of two. So you have to see if there is an imbalance of water, you create fire and then you balance them, not to choose one. That is the mistake.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Kudzai, you have a question?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is relates to energy and focus. Like, I have a problem of maintaining focus on things like for long periods of time. So what I do, I sort of focus on one thing at a time, then I quickly lose interest in those things, then I jump onto the other thing, and I've noticed it doesn't exactly grow. I don't grow into those things. So I'll just stay on the surface of anything. I don't go deeper into things. So I want to know, how do I exactly practice my focus and energy and attention onto things?
You see, the key to focus is, I mentioned in the yesterday's audio as well, that focus is not just a rigid think focus. Focus is where your flow happens. The reason why yogis say that you focus, because mind constantly needs a new information and you are lasering it down to one object. So now focus there does not mean you are left with one subject. Now that very mind will start to enter deeper into that subject you're focusing on. And then the juice starts to flow. You understand what I'm saying? You will start to discover new things, the thing you're focusing on. If you go from one subject to another subject, you are having only superficial informations of different objects, but you're not going deep into any. Same happens with relations, for example. When you come close to a person, you live together, then you get bored. Now this is a normal state and people go jump into another relation to get into new sensation. But if you stay with the person and go through that hell of, and then you start to know the different depths of the same person, because each person is like a river. It's a cosmic phenomenon. Then you experience them into their different dimensions. So focus was designed to experience deeper and creative dimensions of one subject. So it seems what you call focus is just trying to keep your mind there. But that mind is also creativity. So it should trigger your creativity to keep you engaged, to keep you more focused. When you're really engaged into painting, you are not distracted at all because your whole wisdom is flowing into it. So focus means your whole wisdom is flowing into something. So for that, I would suggest juice is the key, because even for yogis, when they're focusing, it's not that they're very disciplined. Their juice starts to flow in that focus. Now they don't want to look anywhere else because they're enjoying that flow and integrity which is happening. And there are certain keys to it, the focus. This I will put it up because right now to explain that I have to take another half an hour, because it's a circulation of energy. It's not only yang energy just focusing. It is also coming back to yourself, becoming aware of yourself. So your energy relaxes. So you create a circulation of energy. You look out like breathing out. Then when like a breathing in, you are becoming aware of yourself looking. So because life is not a static focus, life is a constant movement. And what is that movement? Polarity between the object and subject. There is a circulation. So for example, when you look at a tree, if you keep looking, do not get it, you will become aware of yourself sitting here and looking at the tree. Your energy returned. So then again, you go out and look at a tree, and this circulation creates crystallization of energy. So focus is not just a mental thing. It starts to crystallize your energy into one organic power.
Okay, so you mentioned juice. So how do I keep the juice flowing between me and what I'm focusing on.
For that, you have to understand that when your attention is somewhere, your energy is also flowing there. And do not look for objects of the mind to use to flow, but look for that flow. Feel that flow, because what is happening is your energies are getting integrated into that subject. And once they're integrated, you will start to experience after some time your vibration of energy. Once you're really focused, that is the first time you really experience yourself as a subject. Otherwise, your character in some story all the time. But once you're focused as a flame or a dot, this is the first experience of yoga of the observer, not the observed, the object. Then you see only two. First time you understand the duality of life is thing to see and the one who is seen. That pure experience throws you back onto your ego. You see, here is me and here is the object. You are defining the object. And once you come to yourself, object becomes illusion. Once you go to the object, you become an illusion, a background. And usually in relations, in situations, other becomes our subject and we become lost in a background. And meditation, spirituality is coming back to your story that you are in a relation and relating. For example, you're watching a movie. Why you enjoy the movie? Because you get lost, you forget you're sitting in a theater and it is just a film and a shadow. You make it real. Who is making it real? You are making it real. And why people like? Because they forget themselves into the movie. You see, the worst experience is coming out of theater. Because you're coming out of this beautiful fantasy world, and as soon as coming out of theater, you're coming back to your life. You say, oh, crap. But I tell you, in that gap, coming out of theater and going towards your bike, I had deep insights. Because suddenly you're returning, you're entering your story, and there you see, oh, what are you doing? The things which were looking real, they're like just stories in your head, like this movie was a story. One of the practice to make your energy stronger is, which Osho suggested, to develop your power of the mind, that watch a movie, halfway through walk out. Your mind will say, please, I want to watch the whole thing. This way you're learning to control this instinct in the mind to indulge into subjects and see the complete thing. This way you're developing a will center, which says, I will entertain only when I want. Not when mind says, now I am engaged, let me see the whole thing. Walk away. And this kind of things, this is same with the argument thing. You are hooked like a movie. You just walk away, you say, yes, you're right. And you will be saying to yourself, oh shit, I could have defeated that man. I could have just told him this, but that is not the point. He doesn't want to win you. He wants your energy. But do not push. Remember, notice whenever you get distracted during focus, notice you're distracted and come back. Don't go, oh, again, I lost focus. And that slowly, you're developing a groove into your system. Whatever you choose to focus on, you start to flow there. It's an old habit to constantly hunting for new entertainments through new subjects.
Amazing.
Thank you.
So if I can just add one thing as well, we will also be running some workshops where Satya Ji will be sharing certain art meditation techniques that really are practical technologies for exploring these different dimensions of conscious experience, for building this focused attention, sustaining it, and creating basically a playground where you can witness a lot of these dynamics happening, distraction and returning to focus, how to also find the flow and feel also, even though you're focused mentally on something, to stay connected with the navel center and the whole body and converge all your energies into one action instead of just the mental energy. I've done these a few times in workshops and it's been quite a profound impact. So we'll be very excited to share that with you guys as well. So just so you know, for some of these more practical questions, there's a limit to what Satya Ji can answer now in this with words, but we will have these workshops running as well for the community. So please do join those as well.
Okay, so that's it.
So Satya Ji, do you have stamina for one more question or?
Just one last question then.
One last one. Okay, I think Shravan has put up his hand.
Namaskaram,
Yes.
Satya Ji.
Namaste.
Yes, Satya Ji. So you talked about the navel center where the belly forms first, and the brain is formed next. I also heard that the brain was formed to feed our belly because all our senses are connected to our brain. So I'm asking that even this spiritual teachings and idea about spirituality also feed it by the outside into our brain. And how do we know that what is coming from our navel center? Because from my childhood, whenever I hear about Shiva, I cry like hell because I don't want anything. I want to be with him. Is this that thought from my belly? And please throw some light on that. Thank you.
Point I was making was that mind is designed to serve the life, not your belly. Serve the life. So navel center is the mother center, and it knows more than your mind can ever know, because it's connected, because this is the center which is part of the cosmic movement. So that is the point. And one of the reasons why there is a Kali Yuga or darkness in today's time is everybody is living into a thought world. For them, thought is more real than the actual experience. That's why it is called Kali Yuga. As soon as first thought arises, Kali Yuga starts. Whereas Shiva is not against Shakti. So here the technique which I am saying to you is bring your attention to navel center. You are bringing union between Shiva and Shakti. Otherwise, you are living only the mental world and lost into the mental forms. When you connect there, then the real activity, the heart gets triggered, action gets triggered. You see, your attention, third eye, connects with the first eye of the body, navel center, the intuition center, and their union activates the heart's eye, the functioning wisdom. So whereas Shiva, that is your relation. So he will reveal to you whatever. Don't rush to meet him, because he wants you to participate in life, because they are not in rush for you to get enlightened. They want to put you to some use.
Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhaj Man Haran Bhav Bhayo Darunam Nav